Well, what is this? According to the experts, pretend finance minister Chrystia Freeland is a disingenuous liar because the 2024 budget isn't about fairness. It's our communist government's first attack on the upper middle class. Yeah, they're thieves. Like when Mao was running around in the countryside at the beginning of the communist movement in China, they were called communist bandits because they would just steal. They would just go into a town and just take everything. That's all they know how to do. Obviously, their economic system doesn't work, so they just have to plunder and steal. Let's hear this.
People are going to be.
Derek, why don't you lean a little bit more into that concern that you've felt in reaction to this update from the federal government?
Sure. Okay. So good starting point, John. So let's start backwards here. We need faster productivity growth. To get that, we need more investment. And in order to get more investment, we need to generate savings and or go into deeper hawk to external credit.
Yeah, Trudeau's not so good with the, economics and numbers and all that stuff. Yeah, he's much better at the whole, let's just borrow more money and hope everything works out. I'm sure the budget will balance itself.
And the budget will balance itself.
Is I have an inability to handle small numbers and little calculations, those easy things that people do so well.
Oh, yeah, there's that. Anyway, I guess we'll continue.
And so generating domestic savings is extremely important, and we're not very good at that. The relatively few who do save are the relatively upper income households. The lower bottom three quintiles and on an income distribution basis dissave on net. And so what we're doing here is going after the people who are generating the savings that could back investment and back productivity gains. Those upper income cohorts are the ones that indeed hold the capital gains, but what we're doing now is compounding government taxation at every single stage of the value creation chain.
I almost feel a bit sorry for Justin Trudeau here. I mean, he must find this all so complicated.
I have a slight learning disability.
And so think about it. When you pay taxes upon your workforce earnings and invest them, the after-tax earnings in a company, you hope to generate some profits out of that company and some capital gains. The company gets taxed. The company invests some of those after-tax earnings in things that they hope will generate capital gains that are now going to be taxed at a higher rate. Going forward, anything that's left over gets distributed to shareholders either through dividends and or capital gains themselves, and now people are going to be taxed yet again. So this whole fairness argument is extremely misleading.
But this is the only trick that inept socialist governments have up their sleeve. Once their policies bankrupt a country, there's nothing else to do but start plundering the wealth of the people who aren't broke yet, until they are broke or they leave. It's just try to buy votes until there's no more money left. Need I remind you that we spend more on servicing the interest on the debt in Canada now than we do on healthcare.
It is an extremely unfair method of taxation to compound the taxation at every single stage of the investment process. And what Canada has done here is made itself severely less competitive compared to other jurisdictions. We will have among the highest capital gains tax rates anywhere in the world after we've already lost our corporate tax advantage compared to the United States about 6 years ago. That's no way to generate investment, savings, and productivity.
Oh, so stealing more of people's money. That is apparently bad for the economy. Apparently it's bad for business. Oh, well, that's a shocker, isn't it? Scotiabank's VP and head of capital markets economics, Derek Holt, ripped the Trudeau government's 2024 budget into shreds today on BNN Bloomberg because the new tax on capital gains is an extremely unfair method of taxation that compounds tax on the investment process, which will ultimately lead to a low standard of living for Canadians. Along with the population trap that we're currently in, yeah, it's a disaster. And of course, in the budget, though, I mean, Trudeau, he needs to spend more to try and buy support. So what else is he going to do? Doesn't care about Canada, obviously.